Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Life of a Doctor's Wife podcast. We are officially 1 month into residency, and honestly, I have a lot of thoughts. This isn't an episode about whether residency is good or bad, because let's be real, every residency is different. Every specialty is different, and every family is different. This is simply our experience 1 month in. I also want this episode to serve as advice for those of you applying to residency this year, because there are things we all wish we thought about before creating a rank list. Not because we regret where we matched, we truly don't. We did match to our number one program and have zero regrets. But because there are things that matter so much more than others realized at the time. So let's talk about it. If you've followed me for a while, you know our lives have completely changed. We packed up our entire life, we moved to a brand new state where we knew almost no one. We left behind our families, our friends, our favorite restaurants, our routines, and everything that felt familiar. And recently, I left a job that I genuinely loved. I'll be honest, it was not an easy decision. Leaving a career you've built is emotional. It isn't just walking away from a paycheck, it's also walking away from your coworkers who became friends. A routine that gave you some purpose and a piece of your identity. And while my husband started residency with a new white coat, I was starting over too. Then there's our daughter Mia. She's 1.5 years old and she's adjusting just like we are. A new bedroom, new playgrounds, new faces, new routines, new friends. And people often ask the resident how residency is going. Very few people ask the spouse. Because while one person starts a new job, the spouse is often managing absolutely everything else. You're unpacking boxes, changing your address with every company you've ever had an account with. Getting new driver's license, finding new doctors, learning a new grocery store, figuring out insurance, learning where everything is, and trying to make a brand new place feel like home, all while your resident is working. Something I wasn't fully prepared for was just how much of our home life would shift. The schedule changes every week. Some days he's home for dinner. Some days he's walking out the door before Mia even wakes up and doesn't get home until after she's asleep. Some weekends just absolutely disappear. Most days we don't even know what day of the week it is. And I'm sure some holidays will disappear too. And that's nobody's fault, because that's what residency is. So I found myself stepping into a different role. I'm in mom mode all the time. Bath time, usually me. Dinner, usually me. Bedtime, usually me. Nap time, usually me. If you're a parent, you know bedtime isn't just reading a book. It's brushing teeth, putting pajamas on, reading the same book probably 4 times because your toddler keeps handing it back to you, and then rocking them, singing their songs, singing the songs again and again, then maybe another sip of water, then cleaning up toys, and then maybe she's finally asleep. But the day isn't over. Because remember those dishes that still needed to be done, the laundry that needed to be folded, the house that somehow needed to be picked up even though it looked clean maybe 12 hours ago? That grocery order still needs to be placed. The bills still need to be paid. And you realize that being married to medicine doesn't pause the rest of life. Because life keeps going. It keeps moving. And you just learn to carry more of it during certain seasons. Some evenings, after Mia is asleep and the house is finally quiet, I sit on the couch and realize I haven't had an adult conversation all day. And that's something I wasn't expecting. because it can feel lonely. Not because your spouse doesn't care, but because you're giving everything they have, but because they're giving everything that they have at the hospital, while you're giving everything you have at home. So sometimes you pass each other like two ships in the night. Many nights you'll be going to bed solo. And my advice for those ranking residency programs now, if you're in medical school, or if you're the spouse helping make a rank list, listen up. Here's my biggest piece of advice. Stop chasing the biggest name. Prestige is exciting. A famous hospital sounds incredible. But ask yourself, how does this program support families? Because residency doesn't happen to one person. It happens to everyone. Ask questions like, are there spouse events? Is there a spouses group? Do residents actually spend time together outside the hospital? Are there children running around at residency picnics? Are attendings invested in residents as people and not just physicians? Is parental leave supported? And what happens when life happens? Because eventually, those questions become your everyday life. Medicine will always be hard. There will always be overnight shifts, ICU months, long call days, missed birthdays, missed holidays. But the environment surrounding those difficult moments can make all the difference. When your family lives hundreds or thousands of miles away, your residency community becomes your family. Don't underestimate how valuable that is. And think beyond the hospital. The other thing I would encourage every couple to think about is the city itself. Not the hospital, the city, the town, the area, the community. Can you actually picture yourself living there? Not visiting, living. Because your resident spends most of their life inside the hospital, you'll be spending yours everywhere else. You're the one finding the parks, the library, the pediatrician, the daycare, the church, the coffee shop, which you'll probably visit 3 times a week. And if you have kids, you're finding playgroups and planning birthday parties, researching schools systems, building traditions, creating a home, because those things matter. Career does matter, but life matters too. This month has stretched me in ways I didn't expect. There have been days where I've cried because I've missed our old routine. I've missed coworkers, I've missed family, I've missed grabbing dinner with friends. I've missed having someone to call and say, "Can you watch Mia for an hour?" I've had to rediscover what purpose looks like in this season. But I've also watched something really beautiful happen. I've watched my husband come home after incredibly difficult shifts with stories. Not stories he can always tell, but stories that remind me why he chose emergency medicine. I've watched him grow more confident. I've watched him become the physician he's worked toward for years. And watching that has reminded me why we're making these sacrifices. I want to share something that has genuinely helped us stay on top of life lately, and that's using Monarch for budgeting. If you're anything like us, especially in this season of life, balancing school, work, family, loans, and everything in between, money can feel like one more thing to keep track of. And honestly, it used to stress me out. But Monarch has made it so much easier. It gives you a full picture of your finances in one place, your spending, your savings, your goals. And what I love most is that it's designed for families. You can link your accounts, credit cards, and even investment accounts. You can share it with your partner, stay on the same page, and actually feel in control together. It's not about restricting your life. It's about understanding it and making smarter decisions without feeling overwhelmed. If you want to try it out, you can get 50% off your first year with my link in the show notes. I highly recommend it if you're trying to simplify your finances and just feel a little more organized in your day-to-day life. I think one thing people don't talk about enough is that supporting someone's dream often means quietly rearranging your own life. Sometimes support looks exciting, whether that's match day, graduation, could have been their white coat ceremony, the first day of residency. But sometimes support looks like rebuilding your identity, finding a new job, making friends from scratch, learning a new city, putting your toddler to bed alone for the 4th night this week, doing bedtime FaceTimes because dad is still at work, washing bottles at 10:30 at night, folding laundry while listening to a podcast because the house feels quiet. Those moments don't usually make Instagram, but they're real, and they're worthy of being talked about. So I hope future families know that if I could sit down with every couple making a rank list, I'd tell them this. Choose the place where your whole family can thrive, not just where one person trains. The happiest physicians are often supported by families who feel supported too. Community matters. Friendship matters. Feeling welcomed matters. Having other spouses who understand your life matters. Because one day you'll need someone who understands why your husband missed another holiday, or why you're eating dinner alone again, why your toddler waves at FaceTime instead of the front door. Those people become family, and that is priceless. If you're 1 month into residency too, I want you to know this. It's okay if you're still adjusting. It's okay if you miss your old life. It's okay if some days feel really hard. That doesn't mean you made the wrong decision. It just means you're in the middle of a really big transition. Give yourself grace, build community, say yes to coffee with another spouse, go to the residency events, introduce yourself, ask for help, invite people over. You don't have to cater to everyone. You can meet up at a local park. Send a time, send a date, meet at a free splash pad, and see who shows up. If no one shows up, at least your toddler had some fun, right? And most of all, remember, residency is temporary. The long shifts are temporary. The exhaustion is temporary. But the friendships, the memories, and the family you're building during these years can last a lifetime. For those of you in residency, I also recommend looking at Med Commons. Unfortunately, you do need an NPI number, so it will be something that you will need to set up once your spouse started residency program, but it is another way of almost making like a dating profile and meeting up with other med spouses who are in the same season as you. I will make sure to link Med Commons in the show notes as well, but it's definitely another great resource for those of you looking for a new friend. In next week's episode, you'll hear this story from a completely different perspective. My husband is joining me to talk about what this first month has been like from inside the hospital. The excitement, the pressure, the transition from medical school to resident, and what he wishes people knew about this stage of training. Because while we've experienced the same month, we've lived two completely different stories. That's a wrap on today's episode. If this episode resonated with you, send it to another med spouse or someone preparing for a match or even currently in residency. Sometimes knowing you're not the only one feeling these things is exactly what makes the journey a little less lonely. Until next time, take a breath, pour yourself a nice coffee, and be kind to yourself. I'll see you in the next one.